The Blues I'm Playing by Langston Hughes, 3. Some days later, Ormond Hunter reported on what his maid knew about Osceola. It seemed the two belonged to the same church, and although the maid did not know Osceola very well, she knew what everybody said about her in the church. Yes, indeedy, Osceola were a right nice girl for sure, but it certainly were a shame she were giving all her money to that man what stayed with her, and what she was practically putting through college so he could be a doctor. Why, gasped Mrs. Ellsworth, the poor child is being preyed upon. It seems so to me, said Ormond Hunter. I must get her out of Harlem, said Mrs. Ellsworth, at once. I believe it's worse than Chinatown. She might be in a more artistic atmosphere, agreed Mr. Ormond Hunter, and with her career launched, she probably won't want that man anyhow. She won't need him, said Mrs. Ellsworth. She will have her art. But Mrs. Ellsworth decided that in order to increase the rapprochement between art and Osceola, something should be done now, at once. She asked the girl to come down to see her the next day, and when it was time to go home, the white woman said, I have a half hour before dinner. I'll drive you up. You know I've never been to Harlem. All right, said Osceola. That's nice of you. But she didn't suggest the white lady's coming in when they drove up before a rather sad-looking apartment house in 134th Street. Mrs. Ellsworth had to ask if she could come in. I live on the 5th floor, said Osceola, and there isn't any elevator. It doesn't matter, dear, said the white woman, for she meant to see the inside of this girl's life, elevator or no elevator. The apartment was just as she thought it would be. After all, she had read Thomas Burke on Limehouse. And here was just one more of those holes in the wall, even if it was 5 stories high. The windows looked down on slums. There were only 4 rooms, small as maids' rooms, all of them. An upright piano almost filled the parlor. Osceola slept in the dining room. The roomer slept in the bedchamber beyond the kitchen. Where is he, darling? He runs on the road all summer, said the girl. He's in and out. But how do you breathe in here? Asked Mrs. Ellsworth. It's so small. You must have more space for your soul, dear, and for a grand piano. Now, in the village... I do right well here, said Osceola, but in the village, where so many nice artists live, we can get... I don't want to move yet. I promised my roomer he could stay till fall. Why till fall? He's going to Meharry then. To marry? Meharry, yes, ma'am. That's the colored medicine school in Nashville. Colored? Is it good? Well, it's cheap, said Osceola. After he goes, I don't mind moving. But I wanted to see you settled before I go away for the summer. When you come back, it's all right. I can do till then. Art is long, reminded Mrs. Ellsworth, and time is fleeting, my dear. Yes, ma'am, said Osceola. But I gets nervous if I start worrying about time, so Mrs. Ellsworth went off to Bar Harbor for the season and left the man with Osceola. And we'll pause there.